they grew grapes, that's mainly what they did. They grew all kinds of things, beautiful things, pomegranates, but they were all kind of crawling back. So we went up in search of one person particularly, and that was the one ceramics potter who come back. And I'll hurry, but let me just play you just a little bit, and I hope you can hear it. And we were driving along the road, and we looked up, and there was a very old man sitting on a wall, pressing mud into the wall. Oh, right.
When the cruel Taliban came, we were forced to leave our houses. And I went to Pakistan, and now I have come back, and I'm working on the wall, rebuilding the wall.
Nizar Gul has a deeply lined face, and as he talks, his hands smooth wet mud into jagged holes.
The place where we are living now, they are all in ripples, and they're all huge scorpions, and if they bite us, then we will be finished.
Ask about what aid he's gotten. Nizar Gul snorts, "No one has given us so much as a needle." And then he sighs. It's hard, but I'm really happy to be back. I wouldn't sell even 1 hour here for 1 million Afghans.
That 1 hour back in his beloved Istalif, it was actually the Somali plain, and you know, you see a picture, they're kind of dramatic looking, but there he was, you know, back for the first time in 6 years, building his little mud wall. I shouldn't say little mud wall, it's a beautiful mud wall. And we kept going, and so we would talk to people all along the way, and we had to do that partly when we got into the town to find this potter. Actually, I shouldn't act like we heard there was a potter. We were looking for a potter, and we found out when we got there was one. Now, I have a clip, and I'm beginning to think this may be a little too boomy. Let me just say, we got into the town, and in order to find people directed us up, and it was shocking. This was a potter who walked on this deep crunch of ceramics that had all been crushed. The road was made out of broken ceramics, all through the town and all of the hills. Houses were open to the air. They were mud houses. They're all open to the air. But it was the sound. You can't hear it. I know you can't hear it, but we used the crunch of our feet on the ceramics to show what it felt like to go to a ruined place. And let's just play just a teeny bit. I think I'll break into it. He's centering pot.
Yes, it is 2 months now that I returned back to my home, and I started making the clay pots.
Abdul Wakil says he's 26. He brought his wife and 4 children back from Kabul, plus the sister-in-law and teenage niece left in his care when his brother was killed by the Taliban. As he works on his potter's wheel, he looks out over a golden valley beneath a dusty blue sky. Behind him are stacked dozens of glazed green and blue bowls. Abdul Wakil is waiting, he says, for trucks to start transporting goods to market again, and for some help. Beans to finish rebuilding his home, money for pottery supplies, and possibly food to tide him over until the pots begin selling.
If nobody helps us, and if I don't make enough money to support my family here, then I will have no alternative but to go back to Kabul and do the kind of work that I was doing in the past, which was I had a wheelbarrow.
He had a wheelbarrow and he pushed bricks around with bags of food. That's all we heard of him. I will say the story was filled with all kinds of voices. Farmers building their house back, little children running around being really happy to be home. But we only heard that one little bit of him. More clearly, by the way, I'm sorry, Dick. And this is the stack of mail, printed out email that we got, and there was more. And very typical was, I'm an online discussion group of 3,000 potters worldwide. And the sad, yet wonderful report on the town of Stalin potter, here. And letter after letter, people saying, I came from a family of craftsmen and was particularly moved by Abdul Wakil's story as he attempts to start his pottery studio. Is there any way I can contact him or send some assistance to his village? After hearing it, my spouse and I are particularly interested in finding out more about the ceramics of Abdul Wakil. Would you please respond by email or telephone, like my husband? listed below so we can get in contact with him. And you know, we finally ended up writing a group letter and a place for people to get in contact. But I had to laugh. I was like, yeah, we'll call them up and say, well, you get on a plane, you fly 27 hours to Peshawar, or to actually Islamabad. Then you get on a UN plane, which is what you had to do in those days, and pay $1,000 for a 1-hour trip. You get on, and you can't get on unless you're a journalist or UN. Then you come into Kabul, and then you get a car, and you get a driver, and then you drive 3 hours on a road that should take you 45 minutes, up a hill, and then you wind around, you walk along a ceramic-strewn street, and then you walk up, you follow a donkey. We were told to follow this donkey up. Follow the donkey up the hill, because the people we knew that it was going to go right past his house, and look for a guy sitting out. He was outside, sitting out at a pottery wheel. And if he wasn't in the mosque, there was no mosque, that had been burned, but if he wasn't,